Shalom unto the nation of Israel. First and foremost, before I get into my lesson, I want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of great millstone that teach and that rule well today. And peace and salutation also to the fellow laborers that's in the ministry and the believers that scatter worldwide in all truth and sincerity, day in and day out. Once again, I'm the brother Shaquat Gabar, coming at you with another quick lesson. And right before I get into this lesson, this message or these videos goes out to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which we are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible, and also to the Israelite foreigners that are scattered amongst the heathen nations and that may take on the physical appearance or look of another nation. But if your bloodline goes back to Negro, Latino, or Native American descent by the seed of your father, you are considered an Israelite as well. Shalom. So basically, I'm just going to get into a quick lesson, and the subject matter or topic is going to be about the exposure of the biblical Edomites, okay, which is the so-called white race today, okay, that's in power, okay, in particular, mainly the elites, okay, or the central bankers, okay, that's ruling today over the nations, okay, and down to the average Edomite, okay, especially those Edomite descent here in America, okay, being exposed, okay, starting with Esau, Edom, at this time, their agenda, okay, when it comes to these elites' agenda, when it comes to the NWO, and how, in all actuality, is governed, okay, by the spiritual demon Satan, okay, which we know, us that's in the faith and content understanding, when it comes to the teaching of the scriptures, that when it comes to Satan, he's a angel on the left-hand side of the Heavenly Father and the Son, okay, Yahweh Shem Shai, left-hand side, okay, when it comes to spiritual wickedness or evil, okay, that's play out here on the earth, okay, when it comes to Satan and the angels on the left-hand side, okay, what is known as demons or evil spirits, okay, because we come to the understanding that Yahweh Shem Shai control both good and evil, okay, and at this time, Esau Edom is in power under the spiritual demon Satan that's doing the bidding of Satan, okay. Esau Edom is the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan here on the earth, okay, which Esau Edom in the scriptures is known as the wicked, okay, known as the serpent, okay, when it comes to, the left-hand side, okay, learn that, known as the devil, okay, which the word devil means slander, okay, deceiver, okay, and when it comes to Esau Edom history, okay, how he in this time how he built stole this place America, okay, off the bloodshed and the enslavement of the Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, okay, still to this day, okay, they ruling over us, okay, but like I said, the lesson gonna be about how Esau got his power, okay, how he get his power on the left hand side of Yahweh Shem Shai through the spiritual demon Satan, okay, which is is witchcraft, okay, and when it comes to these elites and the less luminary ones, okay, these government officials, okay, more and more exposures coming out, okay, about them, how they really worship Satan, Satanism, Baphomet, okay, and we seeing now everything that Esau Edom is putting in law or in the society is contrary to the laws, statutes, and commandments, because he's adverse, okay, which the word Satan mean adverse, okay, and he's adverse to the ways of Yahweh Shem Shai, man, okay, and now more and more exposures coming out when it comes to the witchcraft, okay, when it comes to the the media, okay, they they news stations, okay, they social media news station, okay, which a lot of it is propaganda, okay, when it comes to a lot of these stage events, okay, or shootings, okay, witchcraft within the media, okay, when it comes to the rituals, sacrifices, okay, that they doing on the left hand side, okay, to pay homage to Satan, okay, because that's what these elites and these Edomites all about, man. Okay, blood, man. Okay, when it comes to the nations, okay, the people, okay, especially when it comes to the little ones. Now trying to be careful, okay, and when it comes to the pharmaceutical, okay, uh, agendas, okay. What else? A idol worships, the idols. Okay, Elder Yashawamba did a video earlier I watched. Okay, how you had an individual, okay, a Jake went into the exposure, the witchcraft surrounding Washington D.C. Okay, how especially when it comes to how the White House and the format of the White House, how it's constructed. Okay, and the outline of the structure is the outline of built, okay, like the ancient idol, false idol or false god, Molech, okay, as an owl, okay, so that's more exposure, okay. Molech, one of the ancient idols, ancient, of the ancient Hamites, the ancient Moabites, okay, the heathen nations, okay, hey, the exposure of the dollar bill, okay, which is witchcraft, okay, a talisman, okay, that witches use, okay, to cast spells, okay, and that's why the dollar more corrupt, and why people so eager, okay, to to chase the money, okay, or go out the way to murder each other for money, okay, fraud, steal, okay. As the scripture says, the love of money is the root of all evil, okay. In this case, going into the dollar, man, okay, which when you look at that dollar, it got a lot of symbolism in it, okay, witchcraft symbolism in it, okay. You got the owl on the dollar too, okay. You got the webs, the spider webs, okay, which a web is known for what they captured, okay, the trap, okay. And you got the all-seeing eye, okay, the pyramid that go back to ancient Egypt, okay, the eye of Horus, okay, Elder Taz, from the main camp, always going, when it always going to how the eye, okay, on the dollar bill, okay, represent, sexual magic, okay, when it comes to, a little child, backside, okay, like I said, I'm trying to be careful, okay, because that's what they're known for, when it comes to pedophilia, okay, witchcraft, another part of their rituals, okay, when it comes to the little ones, okay, he made mention of sexual magic that go back to Alice Sakar's, what Alice, um, um, Alice Lacarlis, okay, which he was known for, participating in witchcraft, okay, Hermetic or Egyptian witchcraft, okay, Alice Lacrawless, okay, so individuals like him, an Edomite, okay, and you have also what now they pushing, and then you have the founder of the Satanism churches, Anthony LaVey, okay, which he made mention or quoted when it comes to the TV, okay, the television, okay, in every household is a gateway to Satan, okay, it's like a portal. That's why you see on these TVs now they showing all type of wickedness, man, okay, the Momo agenda, okay, and when it comes to Hollywood, okay, which when it comes to this Hollywood entertainment system, okay, which is nothing but a bunch of witchcraft, okay, we know about Hollywood, okay, which that goes back into a ancient ritual. Hollywood or hollow wood, going to the the stick or wood that made out of stick that witches use to cast spells. Okay, and they're using these actors, celebrities, entertainers, okay, to push their agenda. Okay, and to show you that they down with their agenda. Okay, even certain of our people that are sold out to show you that they down with their agenda. They use these hand gestures. Okay, throwing up the sixes. Okay, throwing up the pyramid. Okay, having one eye cover. Okay, all those hand gestures that they down with the elites or Satan. Okay, like I say, I pushing Baphomet. Okay, Freemasonry. Okay, a lot of our people into that too. Okay, being Masons. Okay, the white and black checkerboard. Okay, so a lot of the wickedness is being exposed now. Okay, when it comes to Esau Edom witchcraft, man. Okay, and now more when it comes to the technology. Okay, when it comes to AI. Okay, um, when it comes to more the biometric surveillance. Okay, the deep fake Project Bluebeam, to deceive people, deceive the nations in the time. Okay, especially when it comes to as we're approaching the time where they want to establish the NWO. Okay, and like I say, a lot of all these celebrities they juicing government the government officials, from your presidents, okay, your senators, okay, your mayors, governors, okay, they all juiced in, okay, they they all up under the rule of Satan, okay, they're who they really worship, Satan, and now they spoke, then now they coming out openly, okay, they pushing the ways of Satan, okay, and that's why we had a saying, got the saying when it comes to USA, okay, which is known for United States of America, okay, but we got the saying, amongst the brothers, that the USA really mean under Satan authority, man. Okay, through Esau Edom. Okay, when it comes to their propaganda, their witchcraft. Okay, but now we come to the time where they being exposed now. Okay, starting with the prophets. Okay, and mainly by the way of the Hebrew Israelites on the highways and byways, and his word being published on the internet, exposing them. Okay, you even got certain insiders. Okay, that's part of these elites or former members, okay, of those certain secret councils, coming out exposing the agendas, okay, and our apostles always make mention of certain men and women, okay, that exposing the agendas of these elites during the time of the late '90s, okay, well I say about uh the mid '80s up to the early 2000s. Okay, they made mention of individuals as William Cooper, John Todd, Lemon, what name is Linda Hamilton, you know, Satan Angels Exposed, books like that. Okay, just to, go, through the spirit, name a few that apostles elders always say you can look up those certain informations. Okay, are these, certain members that's been part of the elites exposing now, okay, and exposing the agenda, okay. But let me go ahead and get into the scriptures. Like I say, because the scriptures pinpoint all that, man. Okay, when it comes to Esau Edom exposure in the times that we're in. Okay, now we come to the time that we know that they ain't not a God-fearing nation. Okay, they're not the Lord's chosen people. Okay, as they portray. Okay, but we come to the point. Okay, that we come to the understanding that now that they are the wicked that the Bible speak of, and they being exposed, and eventually, who the world called Christ, Yahweh Shai and Mashah, is come back to take them out of power, man. Okay, during the time of the Third World War, this place America eventually going to be destroyed at the peak of the Third World War by thermonuclear fire, and that's going to indicate the downfall of Esau Edom. Okay, power structure, and right after that, throughout the process of time, when Yahweh Shai established the kingdom here on the earth, Okay, um, start with the Edomites, the elites of Esau, Edom, that's going to escape the missiles. Okay, and the heathen nations that remain. Okay, they're gonna their future is they're gonna go into captivity up on us. Okay, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay, they're gonna go into captivity up on us, and they're gonna build our kingdom. Okay, once the land of Israel is back in its rightful order, because the people that's over there now, okay, chiefly Esau, Edom, Amalek, is occupying our land, which that land gonna be cleansed by missiles, just for it to be rightfully owned by us. Okay, the true biblical Hebrew Israelites. Okay, and they're gonna build our land up. Okay, for a 1,000-year period, and after the 1,000-year period, the only nation that's gonna be done away with are the biblical Edomites. Okay, Obadiah 1:18. Okay, but let's get this. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. And it says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition," is going into Esau Edom. Okay, and as a nation we fell away. Okay, due to us breaking the law, statutes, and commandments. Okay, and the Lord punished us by putting the curses upon us. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verses 15 through 16. Okay, and now we're at the point of the Lord about to redeem us. Okay, starting with the elect, the 144,000 and the 1/3. That's a Negro, Latino, and Native American descent. Okay, because 2/3 going to be cut off and judged at this time, according to Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8, here in America, due to the non-belief and and they following these false gods and going after the hedonistic customs of the heathens and the idol worship that our people are into. Okay, especially idolizing America. Okay, so 2/3 of our people are going to be destroyed. Okay, but they're going to come back in the kingdom, being sons and daughters of the elect. So right now on the elect, it's going to be delivered as we're in this calling. Okay, also the hopeful elect. Okay, be of the chosen of the elect. And then it says, "And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition," and that's Esau Edom. Okay, perdition means destruction. Okay, and that's what Esau Edom is known for. Okay, because he has the blessing of the sword. Okay, and the sword is known as what? A killing instrument or a war instrument. Okay, and that's why you see now when it comes to the Edomites, why they so skillful at war. Okay, when it comes to the military. Okay, when it comes to the biometric weapons. Okay, chemical weapons, GMO food, poison in the air. Okay, the water. Okay, uh, um, uh, um, like I said earlier, when it comes to the pharmaceutical, okay, which that's go back to witchcraft. Okay, that's weaponized as well. Okay, taking out people. Okay, uh, so now they being revealed. Okay, how they destroying the earth. Okay, having the earth on the brink of destruction. Okay, they heart machines, they DARPA machines, the AI. Okay, AI robots. Okay, like I say, now they come with the deep fake. Okay, you can look that up. Okay, more and more surveillance. Okay, they're coming to smart cities. Okay, and they're coming to the RFID microchip they want to implement to replace the physical dollar, and that's Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. Okay, to tag electronic tag all nations. Okay, but it says continue on. Who oppose and exalt himself above all that is called Yahweh or God, I say, which the word God means power, or that is worship, so that he as God sit in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Okay, and that's going to at this time now his technology. Okay, he's trying to move God like now. Okay, trying to get rid of the existence of the God of the Bible. Okay, AI going to take over. Okay, now you got AI robot priests. Okay, now you got the latest, what chat GPT, I think, that's what it called. Okay, so now they're moving towards, as they have a God complex. Okay, And it says, yeah, because one part of the time they put themselves up as God, the false images, okay, or who the world called Christ, okay, when it comes to that, false image that go back to Cesare Borgia, okay, during the time of the Renaissance or the rebirth or the whitewashing, the iconoclasm, okay, but now all that being exposed, okay, they ain't using that as, a lie no more. Even though majority of our people in the world still believe that who the world called Christ is a so-called white man, and who the world called God is a so-called white man. Okay, but now that's being exposed. Okay, but now more than anything, they moving towards a God complex. Okay, by the advanced technology. Okay, which is nothing but witchcraft, man. Okay, off the left hand side of Yahweh Shem Shah through the spiritual demon Satan once again. It says, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. They occupying our land, calling themselves the J.E. Dubs, okay, or the Israelites, okay, but all that's being exposed, okay. And it says, remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what withhold that he might be revealed in his time. Okay, so he's being revealed at this time now. Okay, and this is Paul during the time of writing these letters. Okay, during the time of the Roman Empire was ruling. Okay, which was ancient Rome, Esau Edom. Okay, ruling at that time. But now this is Rome all over again. Okay, the Edomites back empowered again. Like I say, make mention of the rebirth, the Renaissance. Okay, the second leg of Rome. Okay, that was wounded. Rome was wounded, but now it was healed during the time of the Renaissance. Okay, and since that time, they still empowered until this day. Now we coming to the end, because what it says now that he may be revealed in his time. Okay, so Esau Edom is being revealed. For the mystery of iniquity do already work. Okay, during the time of the ancient Roman Empire. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. Okay, and who's the one that put him in power at this time? This is back then before ancient Rome fell. Okay, Yahweh Shemyawa Shai. Okay, because Yahweh Shemyawa Shai ruleth in the kingdom of men. Okay, he set Esau Edom up. Okay, and at this time to bring him down. Okay, when Yahweh Shai return and liberate the nation of Israel. Okay, starting with the elect. And it says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. Okay, that's by the way of the prophets. Okay, their own tongue also falling upon them. Okay, they being exposed. And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Okay, and that's Yahweh Shai returning with the hosts of angels, what the world called UFOs. Okay, the chariots, the vehicles of angels. Okay, bringing war to Esau, Edom, and these heathen nations. Okay, and take them out of power. And it says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power, signs, and lying wonders. And that's Esau Edom, coming after the workings of Satan. Okay? And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness and them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And that's going to 2/3 of our people, Negro, Latino, and Native American descent of Israel, that have been, going to be given over to the lies or the deceivingness of Esau Edom. Okay, ultimately to be the judge. Okay, especially those of our people that take that RFID micro, because according to Revelation chapter 14 verse 9, those that take it going to be destroyed by the way of the missiles and the chariots. Okay, and it says, and for the cause Yahweh shall send them a strong delusion that they should believe a lie. Okay, so right now 2/3 of our people going to be given over to the lies of Esau Edom. Okay, especially when it comes to the NWO. Okay, when it comes to that sword, the Lord going to allow Esau Edom to bring. Okay, but the Lord is only going to deliver the elect, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. And that's the 2/3, man. Okay, but now we're in the time the Lord cutting off, the witchcraft out of Esau Edom hand. Okay, and only the elect, us, us that have been called, hopefully we chosen. Okay, we see how Esau Edom moving, because the Lord had given us the spiritual eyesight when it comes to the right hand side of the spirit of Yahweh Shemyawa Shai. Okay, starting with this understanding the truth. They're able to dissect or interpret these scriptures, knowing the times that we're in and knowing who's in rulership, when it comes to Esau Edom and their agenda. Let's get this this is Isaiah chapter 47, verse 9. It says, "But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood." And it's going to this place ultimately being destroyed, America. Because America is their stronghold when it comes to these elites' power structure. Okay, and it's only going to take 1 hour for Yahweh Shema Shah to destroy this place by the way of the missiles and the chariots. Okay, and they shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thy enchantments. Okay, going into their witchcraft, man. For thou hast trust in their wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it have pervert thee. Okay, going to their wickedness. Okay, and it says, and thou hast said in thy heart, I am, and none else besides me. Once again, Esau Edom through their pride. Okay, thinking that they going to get rid of the existence of the God of the Bible. Okay, at this time through their technology. Okay, and it says, therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it rises, and mischief shall fall upon thee, that thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Okay, so the Lord gonna catch him off guard, man. Okay, and Esau, they saying things are happening. Okay, because they got their witches and warlocks. Okay, what the Jesuits. Okay, when it comes to the Roman Catholic Church. Okay, right before the former Pope went back into the spiritual realm, whatever Pope Francis. Okay, how he before he passed, how he opened up CERNs or trying to open up CERN portals, doing all type of enchantments. Okay, chanting him and those wicked priests. Okay, to open up portals. Okay, and that's during the beginning of the year. Okay, and look how everything them got worse and worse, because that's their power on the left hand side. Okay, like I say, CERN. Okay, trying to open up portals. Okay, but Lord, the power that they have, they starting to lose it. Okay, because the time where Yahweh Shem Shah to bring righteous. Okay, and to bring the punishment upon Esau Edom, the wicked. Okay, and the ones, the evil ones. Okay, that's doing wicked now. Okay, when it comes to these heathens and 2/3 of our people. Okay, that's in being wicked themselves at this time. And it says, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand now with thy enchantments, and with thy multitudes of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. Yeah, like I say, because when it comes to the so-called finding forefathers, okay, like your George Washingtons, those president then, okay, there was a bunch of Masons, okay, and I've named, ever since then, how this place was built off of witchcraft, man, sorcery. Okay, I'll name a few: Alice Crawlis, okay, Anton LaVey, Albert Pikes, okay, a good bit of them, okay, and still to this day they hold them as great men. Okay, but now a lot of shameful spewing is coming out. Yeah, because now it's all about Esau Edom exposure. Okay, so that's why it says, stand now with thy enchantment and with thy multitudes of thy sorceries. Okay, when thou hast labored from thy youth, if so be thou shalt be able to profit it, able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. Okay, thou art weary in the multitude of thy counselors. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, astrologies, the stargazers, and the monthly procrastinators stand up and save thee from these things that thou shalt call upon thee. Okay, and it's going to the witchcraft. Okay, the left hand side. Okay, and I remember, I think it was Elder Yashawamba from GMS Dallas branch. He brought out like a year ago. Okay, how these presidents, they had councils, and a lot of these, I think like Bill Gates, not Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, excuse me, Bill Clinton, the Bush, okay, administration, Reagan, okay, Carter, they administration, how they had a whole bunch of, astrologers that, went into, predicting the future, okay, on the left hand side, showing them how they, giving them the format, how to move through their presidential, um, administration, okay, which is nothing but a bunch of witches and warlocks on the left hand side, man, okay. But now the Lord said, let that help you now, okay. When all hell gonna come upon you, Edomites, man, and upon your wicked kingdom, okay. Let's get matter of fact, that's it on that. This is Micah chapter 5, verse 7. No, Micah chapter 5, verse 11. It says, and I will cut off the cities of thy land and throw down all thy strongholds. And it's going into this place, America. And America ain't nothing but full of idols, okay, ancient idols. Okay, when it comes to the structure, okay, you got ancient idols from, ancient kingdoms over here, okay, like your, you got look at Vegas, Las Vegas, okay, when it comes to those pyramids over there, okay, the statues that resemble ancient Egypt, okay, this is why another reason why, we know that this place is spiritual Egypt, okay, when it comes to America, because they relic, okay, got relics over here that mimic ancient Egypt, okay, you got what is it, over there in DC, okay, with the fallacy, okay, the obelisk, okay, symbol ancient Egypt, okay, ancient customs that are, that the Greeks, the Romans, okay, which are Edomites, okay, back then had here in America, okay, the structure of America built like Rome, okay, look at with the Statue of Liberty, another idol, okay, another whole bunch of idols over here in America, okay, that lead to Satan worship, okay, and it says, and these churches, okay, you got the uh um well, like over there in Hollywood in certain places, they struck what the arch of what Baal, okay, Hollywood, like I say, okay, the rewards they receive, okay, those go back to ancient idols, okay, as Egypt, okay, like the Oscars awards, the Grammys, okay, those trophies or rewards they receive, ain't no but idols, okay, the music, that's witchcraft, okay, look how demonic this music is now, okay, they got majority of people, especially now this new age music they call the drill music, the trap music, okay, which a lot of those music companies are owned by Esau Edom, but they use our people, to push out their narrative, okay, of their agenda, okay, when it comes to how to when it comes to this whole rap culture now, what that our people are into, when it comes to influence them to, when it comes to drill music, okay, drugs, women being whores, adultery, the gang life, thug life, okay, all that's witchcraft, man, okay, and it says, um, at these colleges, okay, which a lot of these colleges push the Greek mythologists when it comes to the fraternities and sororities, okay, that go back to ancient Greeks, okay, Greco-Roman Empire, okay, and I went to college, okay, and through the spirit, I then when I first came into the truth, okay, at the end of my college career, and I dropped out, okay, especially because I found out about the truth and how college was a scam, okay, then I found out eventually that America going to be destroyed, that was going on about what 12 years ago. Okay, and I thought right then and then, I'm like, man, shit, I'm getting out of college, man. This place through. Okay, so ain't been no need. Okay, And that means, like I say, I'm just coming into faith. Okay, okay, but ever since then, college got worse and worse. Okay, ain't nothing but a bunch of especially them HBCUs, cause that's what I went to. Okay, ain't nothing but a bunch of whoredom, drug affected. Okay, the Momo agenda. Okay, so I can imagine now. Okay, like I said, the fracks. Okay, so all they end up with another stronghold. Okay, that's gonna be brought down. And it says, "And I will cut off witchcraft out of thy hand, and thou shalt have no more soothsayers." Okay, it's all that's gonna be cut off. They witches, they warlocks. Okay, ain't gonna be no more tarot cards, palm reading. Okay, I forgot what it called when okay, when you got people like how Saul did when Saul, King Saul went to go talk to the witch from Endor. Okay, and he disguised himself. Okay, then it was a witch that because he been trying to bring up the spirit of Samuel that had passed, and basically the witch brought up the spirit of Samuel. Okay, and basically Samuel judged Saul. Okay, from the spiritual realm. Okay, but she brought up the spirit of Samuel, and they still got that going on today. Okay, trying to bring up loved ones. You got AI now doing that, bring up loved ones that don't pass, and trying to bring them, the come back in a witch body, or talk through a witch or a spirit. Okay, about loved ones, to see how they can get help. Okay, to seek help from their loved ones from beyond the spiritual realm. I forgot what it was called, man. Okay, yeah, they show you that a good example in the old movies in the late '80s, Ghost, where Whoopi Goldberg had played with the witch. Okay, to bring back Patrick Swayze. Okay, cause lady friend, his girl had wanted to know what man how she cause she felt terrible about Patrick Swayze, you know passing. So she went to inquire a witch, which is played by Whoopi Goldberg, and how Patrick Swayze you know talked through Whoopi Goldberg to try to get in contact with with the girl, with the woman. Okay, and, I ain't seen the movie in a long time, but that's a very spiritual movie. Okay, and that's to show you Esau eating witchcraft, man. On the left hand side, man. Like I say, well, Hollywood, man. Okay, and it says, and thy graven images also will I cut off, and thy standing images out of the midst of thee. Okay, that's going to happen when the Lord destroy this place, America, man. Okay, all these buildings that's constructed in witchcraft or idol worship. Okay, and it says, and thou more worship, and thou shalt no more worship the work of thy hands, and I will pluck up thy groves out of the midst of thee. So will I destroy thy cities. And it grows. Okay, like these churches. Okay, these elites that got secret societies. Okay, they go behind the scene and like the Bohemian Grove. Okay, where they do a lot of sacrifices. Okay, a lot of these summits they meet at. Okay, doing all type of sacrifices and all. Okay, these parties they be having. Okay, when it comes to these elites, or the less luminary ones, or these celebrities, or people that's into all that madness, having these satanic ritual parties. Okay, and it says, and I will execute vengeance in my anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard. Okay, and so the Lord is gonna come back and take Esau Edom out of power, man. Okay, let me see. And I'll probably get ready to close out because I don't want to make this video too long. Okay, yeah, I'll close out with this because when it comes to us or the hopeful elect, okay, it ain't gonna be no enchantment against the elect. Okay, because the Lord have given us the spirit to understand the times that we're in, and we pray. We have the names of Yahweh Shem Yahweh to be covered on the right hand side, and not to get caught up into the ways of Esau Edom. Okay, lies or wickedness. Okay, because we was once being misled by Esau Edom. But now we got the eyesight and to know the exposure of Esau Edom and their wickedness, man. And we know the end all to be all that Yahweh Shemel Shah to come back to take them out of power and go and judge them. Okay, but when it comes to them, because they really want to destroy the nation of Israel as a whole, okay, but they really want to come after the elect, okay. But the scripture says the elect ain't gonna be deceived, okay. The elect is gonna be covered, and the elect is not gonna be plucked out the hand of the Lord, okay. And so when it comes to all the wickedness that Esau Edom pushing, and you seeing that now too, with the whole, the agenda of them trying to bring demonization against the Hebrew Israelites, okay. All that's part of Esau Edom witchcraft to come against, eventually trying to stop the elect from waking up, okay. The scripture said he know he had but a short time left, okay. Revelation 12:12. But when it comes to the elect, the hopeful number that we're striving to be part of, okay, the scripture says, Numbers chapter 23, verse 23, surely there is no enchantment against Jacob, neither is there any divination against Israel. And according to the time, it shall be said of Jacob and of Israel, what have Yahweh wrought? And the point I want to get, it says there's no enchantment against Jacob, okay, when it comes to Israel, okay, starting with the elect, okay, mainly the elect, okay, because at this time, 2/3 of our people are going to be taken, okay, by the deceivingness of Esau Edom. Okay, we read it earlier in what, 2 Thessalonians. Okay, chapter 2. Okay, and so when it comes to the elect, okay, the elect is not going to be enchantment. Okay, the elect is going to wake up. Okay, and come back and acknowledge Yahweh Shema Shah, the true living power, and acknowledge and know that Esau Edom is the wicked, and eventually they being exposed, and the Lord going to take their power from them. Okay, which is the power of Yahweh Shema Shah anyway, on the left hand side. And that's what they're going to find out, okay, that Yahweh Shema Shah is the true living power, okay. But I'm going to go ahead and end the lesson here, and I pray that lesson will edify to next time, Lord willing. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.